3, 2.
Okay, so we've been gone for a minute. I said it before. Josh has a full-time gig, and so do I. But we're here hopefully to continue entertaining you. And you know what? Let's just get right into it. I have a video here. I was telling Josh that I always like to collect little videos from TikTok that I find funny before we get into like more serious stuff, right? The cheese.
Is that me watering the front yard?
Yeah, doesn't it? It looks like you, right? And this is exactly how I've always felt, by the way, that animals greet each other, right? Every single time that I've ever walked an animal or have been nearby where animals are greeting themselves is exactly how I feel that they sound.
It's about 3 o'clock. Got 1 sec.
I'm gonna fucking kill you! I've killed you before! I'm doing it again! I'm confessing right now!
Sorry about that, Paul.
Wasn't that hilarious, man? Wasn't that funny?
Oh my god!
I always wonder what is it that the dogs, are thinking when they just want to kill each other, man. Like just out of nowhere. Like I've seen animals here, that will pass by. It could be a cat, it could be a dog. Hell, I don't even know if it's a raccoon sometimes. But my dogs would just lose their mind. Just lose their entire it's just like, dude, god damn. So I don't know, I saw that one, I'm like, this is perfect, man. This is it's just beautiful. Because then they go right back to their own business.
Like asleep.
Yeah.
Like you see them completely dead asleep, and then you see like the ear move like
yeah, what is that? And then they go right back. They go right back to like,
yeah, exactly.
oh, nothing. They'll go right back to licking their ass or something. But all right. So let's get into a little bit of what we want to talk about today. As the headline will read, something around TikTok, and that is because we essentially went viral. Okay. I'm not trying, to show off here. All right, no one's showing off. I'm not flexing or anything like that. I'm just saying we went viral. Okay, the JTH show finally went viral. So let me show you the beginning of that tip. Or, I'm sorry, not the tip. Damn it, I already gave you away. The beginning of that clip as to why the TikTok gods and their algorithm decided that we were worthy of going viral. And then instead of you watching the whole TikTok clip, which you can go and find over on TikTok on the JTH show, I'll actually explain why. Because there is a lot of confusion, I feel, that occurred when this clip went viral. And I get why. So for any of my followers that are coming over there, or I'm sorry, coming from over there over here, I'm going to explain somewhat in detail. Granted, I've already spoken about this clip. I'm sorry, about this subject before. I've already touched on it. But you know what? I'll re-clarify, because some people were thinking I'm some cheap, sleazy asshole, as I was called already multiple times. So let's go watch the beginning of that clip real quick, and then I'll explain. Come on, where are you? You know what? I downloaded the screenshot and downloaded the video. But you know what? Trust me, the screenshot will do it. The screenshot will do it. So it's essentially, and it's actually a good thing that it's not the video, because it has probably copyright music by Bella Porsche. So some guy put this, literally just this screenshot receipt. All right, there's on a TikTok, and I believe the name is down there. If you notice, right down here, it says what is that? Pyre Real, whatever. You see that name right here, right?
Yeah.
So this guy, yeah. He put that up on his TikTok. And of course, in TikTok, you can do what's called stitching, as you guys can clearly see there, right? Stitch with whatever. And he essentially had that little automated voice that you can maybe use for like for people that are maybe hard of hearing or are maybe blind, right? Where it kind of reads stuff for you. People have been using that as a trend. And he did that by literally having it read this, right? And the little voice in the background, granted, in the background, we also have Bella Porsche's song going on, very trending. And he said, this is a reminder that if you can't afford to tip, you can't afford to eat out. All right. Then I had my reaction. I had my, 60 seconds more or less of commentary as to why I believe this was entire BS. Okay. And I very quickly, Josh, again, like always, you're going to have your say, but this is essentially what I said. Okay.
Okay.
It was wrong. It doesn't, just because supposedly you cannot tip, it doesn't mean that you can't go out to eat. I am very sorry. But if you have, and these are a couple different examples I'll give you. If you had you have a family that they're out, they normally never go out. Maybe they're having a difficult time. I mean, come on, right? Are we not in a pandemic here? People have lost their jobs. But you know what? They gathered enough money to go celebrate little Timmy's birthday. You know, maybe $50, $80, who knows, right? Little Timmy really wants to have a goddamn burger from one of those fancy places. Dad says, okay, fine. We're going to go ahead and put together some money, maybe even use a credit card. We're going to go out. I'm not going to tell them, no, you're not. Unless you can leave a tip, no, you're not. Or maybe all of you guys should eat less. That's one example, okay? Now, again, I didn't say this example in that video, but that's what I meant. When I literally after the stitch or that part, I guess I did a face because people also kept pointing that out. Because I was surprised. I was genuinely surprised. I'm like, what? What? What do you mean? Like, no, you can go out and eat. Now, going into the tip part, should you tip? Let me say it right now. Yes, people I think generally, keyword, should tip. Generally, okay? Does that mean that every single time you go out, you'll tip? No. Why? As I said, and I'll show the quick video thumbnail right there that I talked about this already on episode 2. This is how long ago, maybe a year and a half or so at this point. Named it Tipping and Gratuities if you guys want to check it out. But in a nutshell, what I explained there is there are many times where when you'll go out that you'll be served by someone that clearly that doesn't want to do his or her job, or maybe is having a really bad day. Whatever the case is, they're giving you really bad service. I'm sorry, who in their right mind wants to get their wallet out and just tip their life away over getting some crappy service, right? Now, when you go to a restaurant, when you go to even takeout, you are paying, right, $20, $30, $40, whatever the restaurant or the place is charging you for food, right? At least here in the US or even in Mexico or anywhere else in the world, you're paying X amount, whatever that place deemed that you should pay for whatever you're asking to buy. That entitles you to your food. That entitles you to however the restaurant, the place says that food will be delivered to you. If it is at the counter and they go, ding, ding, Josh, order is ready. And that means that you have to go pick it up, or the restaurant decided, hey, we're going to hire people to bring you said food, which again, according to our menu, you have agreed to pay that price on the menu. Now, that is very independent in my belief. And I think many people out of the million that watched, I think it was over 70,000 people that agreed, right? That said, yeah, I mean, tipping is very independent. Tipping is that person comes over, brings your food, right? Doesn't just bring the food and just kind of throws it. I'm going to see if I can get a quick shot of this, of my own cup here that I have here. Doesn't just bring your cup and it's just like, just throws a goddamn cup where everything's like, all the liquid in there is just like splashing around, right? Doesn't bring your plate, right, of food with the freaking thumb in there, trying to put, you know, here you go, here's your food, sir. Catch up with that? No. Right. And I know some of you guys might think that's hyperbolic. It's not. All right. I have some weird stuff happen to me. Okay. I had people where something looks off on the plate and they're like, oh, that's kind of weird. Here, let me get that right out for you. Let me get a utensil real quick and just get that out for you real quick. It's like, why don't you bring me another plate? I've had people with their thumb in my food. I've had people, that it's just, you have no idea. So do I feel at that point, right, all warm inside to give a tip? Not to mention when they bring me a drink, for instance, I finish said drink. The menu says unlimited refills, right? Maybe you're having wings. Maybe you're having something that, you know, just it's hard to swallow. So you're going to require a lot of liquid. And, you know, you're looking around and they look at you like, you want another one? No, pendeja. I'm just, you know, I'm just doing this to my cup because I like to point out an awesome cup you have here, you know? And they're like, okay, we'll be right there with you. And then they'll come back and an example, I'm a guy, I don't drink soda. I know. Shocker. People will be like, really, dude? You're like 260. You don't drink soda? I don't drink soda. This is not soda. This is food, baby. Okay? I don't like soda. So I'll ask, right, for another refill, and they'll bring me an example. My same waiter or server that took my order will bring back Coke. Why? Because I often order sweet tea, which is fine, to their defense, almost the same color, but they'll bring me Coke, right? Again, to me, Josh, you took my order. You're trying to earn that tip, and you are careless enough where you're like, here's your fucking Coke. And I'm like, okay.
But I think at the same time, even if they said like, here's your Coke, and then you said, sorry, I actually ordered a sweet tea, and they said like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was in a bit of a rush, and I'm really sorry about that. If they apologize to it and they're sincere about it, then it's kind of like, it happens. You're human, man. Whatever,
Sure.
It doesn't matter.
I won't argue with that. That is very true. I'm not trying to also say that I'm extremely picky, where they didn't say good morning, good afternoon, or good evening.
Yeah.
Anybody else caught that? No. Okay. That's it. For those of you guys that are new here, that's something that I used to open up the videos with. But yes, I'm not going to be picky, right? Whether they got everything down to the T. But what all I'm saying is, I go to a restaurant. I already agree to pay for whatever the menu says. If it's a $40 steak, everybody else around the world can be like, you're an idiot. That's totally American. $40 for a steak, $50 for a steak. Get out of here, right? But hey, whatever. If I agree to pay for it, I agree to pay for it. But that doesn't mean, right, that I agree to pay you automatically 20% of my bill. Automatically.
Exactly.
There's a difference. Automatically. Now, if we're talking about, 20% because it was earned, because the waiter, the server, whatever his or her title is, was very, what is that word? Attentive, I think it is.
Attentive.
Right? They're coming over, sir, ma'am, whatever. Can I get you guys anything else? Can I get you a refill? Want some dessert? Sure. Right? Hey, that person is working for his or her tips. Let me give you the 20%. On that video, nonetheless, all right, what really gets me, as you guys will see here again, if you cannot afford a tip, you can't afford to eat out. That's a stupid logic, in my opinion, right? Again, why? Because this person can clearly afford to eat out. The tip, we don't know if this individual, which, by the way, shocker, this person blocked their comments, right? That meaning they hit him, not only hit him, but block anybody from commenting. I want to say that maybe by the time this was recorded, they took the video down as well. I know that the rumor is that this person also got fired for doing this, right? Because they're sharing some sensitive information like transaction numbers, possibly credit card number there at the beginning, swipe, signature.
Well, we can find this guy. If this guy has LinkedIn, his name is Shane H.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's the address of where the tavern is. So
exactly.
I think you just accidentally doxed this guy. Sorry.
Well, I think other people have already done it, because other people were pissed off. Right. Those that were agreeing with me, we get when people do trendy crap, right? But this shouldn't be trendy. This, putting receipts out with possible sensitive information shouldn't be trendy, right? Because again, there's a lot of things, like a lot of people were saying on the comments, we don't know if this guy possibly just did this for what they call clout, and maybe the person left cash, right? Maybe we don't know that. Not everybody writes cash on the tip section. I do, right? Because I don't want anybody to take a picture of my receipt and say I didn't leave a tip on $100 something bill, right? Because let me tell you guys, by the way, side note, when I go out with my family, it's not that I want to spend $100. It's that I have 3 kids, a wife, and myself. And let me tell you, like Mexicans say, no somos de la boca chiquita. We don't eat off the kids' menu, baby. So it's $100. Right. So I usually write cash on the tip section, right? Maybe this person just doesn't care. They wrote a line through it. It doesn't necessarily mean that they didn't leave tip. It could also mean that this was a split ticket, that this person was paying for his or her part of the ticket, and then the other person was going to leave a tip. So anyways, the point is, there's a lot of theories out there. Nonetheless, this guy supposedly, Shane, got fired. Now, it's a shame that he got fired. I don't even going to get into that. It's a shame that he got fired because I know everybody needs a job, but whatever. The tavern, the Hickory Tavern, decided to let him go, and it was all supposedly as a result, to this, because he put someone's information out there. Now, again, this shouldn't be trendy. Don't do this, please. If you're a server, don't get yourself fired over something stupid like this. More tips will come. But getting back to the main point, doesn't mean that I believe that everybody automatically no matter what. Should tip? No, I'm sorry. Because to go to my second part of this whole argument that I was telling people online, if you go and apply to be a server, a waiter, you go do that. Josh, again, correct me if I'm wrong, if you feel like I'm wrong here.
Sure.
Understanding the game. To be a server, to be a waiter, it's a game. It's like when I was a cable tech. When I was a cable technician, not as an in-house hourly, I had literally a minimum wage paying job as a cable tech, and then they had this weird, call it, if you want to call it a triangle. What do you call it? The triangle
pyramid scheme.
Pyramid scheme. Thank you. Excuse me. Where they say if you made X amount of points, each job was worth so many points, and then you got paid. The more points, the more money. Okay, I'll leave it there. Right? There's more to it, but I'll leave it there. Same thing with servers and waiters. When they apply and they sign their application and hire paperwork and all that crap, hey, yes, many of them get minimum wage. Many of them, which is also a probably a topic for another video, get paid somehow, which is crazy to me, in the US about $2.13. And let me tell you guys, I hire people outsourcing that get paid a lot more than that, which it is crazy. But in those states, Oklahoma, I know, does it for sure, and I heard Texas, where they pay you about $2.50 about per hour, is because they say, oh, you're gonna make all this extra money in tips, right? Here's the I guess the two sides to this problem. One side, you have the restaurant who says, well, hey, you're gonna get tips. Why should I pay you $14, $15, $20 an hour when I know after you add your tips, you're going to be making maybe $30 an hour, $40 an hour, right? Depending on how good you are. So the restaurants, in my opinion, try to exploit this loophole and try to get, away with paying them literally less than minimum wage, right? About $2.50 is what I've heard is the average, maybe less. So again, because after tips, allegedly they make out like $30 an hour after tips, right? Now, to be fair, I also heard that if supposedly a waiter is so bad, right, or just had a bad day, to be fair with them as well, the restaurant will supposedly bring that up to at least minimum wage. So they just say like, hey, Josh, you get $2.50 an hour. You made $10 today in tips. Oof, that's pretty tough. Let me round you up so that you at least have minimum wage. That's what I've heard. Other people, please, in the comment section, if you disagree, you've had a different experience, let us know. But going back to what I was saying about the hourly wage, on the other side, you have a lot of other states. California is one of them, right? Where they have to make minimum hourly, no matter what they work in, which is, I believe, up to 12 something an hour, right? So in those states, I think New York is another one, you can make $12 an hour, maybe more, plus your tips on top of that. So it is a mess here in the United States across the board because of all these different state regulation. Everybody has their own regulations when it comes to this. Nonetheless, I think the idea is still the same. Is that if you're going to get into the game of being a waiter or server, you know that you have to hustle. You know that you have to work your ass off, right? Want to call it kissing ass? Sure, call it kissing ass. You know that you have to do a good job, a good impression, so that the person paying ultimately at the end of their meal will say, here's $20. Does it always happen? No. Is it mandatory? I'm sorry. As I said in that video, tough fucking cookies. It's not mandatory. The person walking away can be a jackass. Sure, you can tell them cheapskate, jackass, sleazy, whatever. Sure. But is that person breaking the law? No, they're not breaking the law. Josh can go out and say, damn, I just spent $80 in a meal. I didn't realize I was going to spend that much. I had an airhead moment. Ooh, it doesn't look like I have the 20%. I'll leave this person $3. I'll leave this person $5. Even then, did Josh break the law? No.
You're starting to make me feel a little bad now because you keep mentioning 20%. I'm more like 10%.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm somewhere in between.
Sure.
Right.
I mean, like if someone really goes out of their way and really, really, I feel well attended to. If I ask like, oh, what do you prefer? Do you prefer this or this? And it's like, actually, I prefer this because whatever reason. It's like, you know what? I give that person 20%. Hell, But like, I think if someone really does if I really think someone does not deserve it, I will tip them, but just comically low, because it's to make a point more than anything. Because I do agree with you in some ways. It's because it is horrible that some servers do earn around $2.50 an hour. I was not aware of that, but like you said, at the same time, with tips at $30, it's like wow, $30 an hour more like it's like wow.
Yeah, no, it is pretty bad. I'm not gonna say it's not. I think it is horrible. I think I might have done something with my freaking thing here, because I kept pressing the one that me and you split, and it keeps taking us to this right here. Sorry if everybody freaked out. They're like, "What the hell is JT doing?" I'm sorry. Anyways, but yeah, you're right. It's again, and it works to the advantage sorta of the restaurant owner. Now, from the restaurant owner, if you want to play a little bit of a devil's advocate, the way they're looking at it is, well, I don't want people that automatically get. And it's funny, by the way, because there was a comment that reflected a similar statement or sentiment that I'm about to say. When a restaurant says, oh, whatever, fine, I'll pay you, $14-15 an hour, they have seen a decrease in quality, because they're like, whatever, I'm already going to make my, let's just say, $80 a day, or it could be $100 a day, whatever, right? My $400, $500 a week, and with my check. Why would I go out of my way now to really make a very valuable experience for the Patreon? Why would I do that? Again, you can argue and say, well, some people have much better etiquette, JT. You have no matter if I got paid $30 an hour, I'm still going to do a great job. You can't say that that's the case for everybody. You just can't. So,
no.
Though that's the idea there, right? That I had when it comes to that video that went viral. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, tips are not mandatory. And I had to bring it up because I said it on the video a couple times. There's tips for everything nowadays, man, which also pissed me off, right? You can have, it just happened to me, I want to say 4 days ago. The family and I ordered pizza. Guess what? I got the pizza charge, of course, right? Because I'm paying for the actual pizza. I got a delivery charge of $3.50. Okay. And they were asking me for a tip. So, yes.
Then what's the delivery charge then?
Exactly my point, right? Because again, I'm paying for the damn pizza, and I don't know anywhere else in the world, but out here, a stupid little large pizza from Domino's. We order one pizza. We've been getting into this cheese tasting pizza deal with my family, so we'll go around tasting just cheese pizza. We ordered one cheese pizza from Domino's, and it was, I believe, like $16. All right, for one cheese pizza, one large cheese pizza, $16. Yeah, all right, $3.50 for delivery, plus they wanted a tip. Which, by the way, I have the receipts. I tipped the person, right? Do I like it? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be very frank with you. I fucking hate it, because like you just said, in my head, I'm thinking, what did I just pay for? Like, what did I just pay? Like with Postmates. Postmates does that shit to me all the time, right? I'll order, and if anybody uses Postmates, food is at least, that it's marked up at least 1% to 2%, right? Because I'll order an example. I think about 2 weeks ago, we ordered Chinese food. And dude, I know because I've been inside of an example, Panda Express, how much it costs. But okay, we paid it was like $80 for Panda Express. It was marked up. Again, it's like 2 or 3% marked up. I already paid for the Postmates membership, the monthly fee, whatever it is, $20, whatever it is. Plus, at every single delivery, they're like, hey, here's a little face of like Jim. And Jim's like, everybody puts a stupid face on their Postmates delivery profile. And it's like, you want to tip Jim? Yeah, I'm looking at Jim's face like I can't fucking not tip that face, man. Look at that face. That guy's trying to make me laugh. I'm like, fuck it. $3, whatever, $4, right? So it pisses me off. I do it because I don't want to come across as someone that is cheap or something, or again, someone that doesn't understand a lot of these people are doing it for their own livelihood because they're trying to get their family, through the week. So I'm like, fuck it. Here's $3, right? I'll throw $3. Doesn't mean that I like it. No. And granted, this is coming from someone that I used to do everything, almost every job out there you can think about, Josh, when it comes to tips. I did washing dishes. I did doing prep tables. I did the server. You name it. I probably have done it. I did Uber.
Sure.
I've done Uber before, Uber Eats. And in my head, I'm like, did I like getting tips? Yes. Did I go out of my way to earn them? Fuck yeah. In my head, absolutely. Right? When I used to do Uber, dude, you're not required to have water or candy or gum or an extra auxiliary cord. That's everything my vehicle had, right? When I was doing Uber. People came in my vehicle all the time. Do you have a cord? Yeah, here's a cord. Oh, cool. Thank you. Oh, are these waters on the door for us? Yes, they're for you guys. Cool. Oh, I got people asking me, dude, if I had mints instead of gum. Like, there was like a fucking menu. Like, I'm sorry. Do you have any other kind of gum? This is not sugar free. And it's like, did I get tips? Yes, but look at the extent that I went to. That is not part of my job, right? When I was a server, I used to go back sometimes. I try not to be too invasive, but I would go back to the person and say, hey, do you want me to refill that out for you? I would literally just be watching. In Mexico City, I know, Josh, by the way, have you ever been there? There's a place called Porfirios. That's how I was. Like, if you ever been inside Porfirios, anybody that knows what I'm talking about, it's almost like they're watching you. Because as soon as you put your freaking cup down that's pretty much empty, they're like, refill, senor, or whatever they say right over there.
Wow.
That's how I was. That's how I was, But I earned my tips, you know what I mean? And I don't know, man. The point of, I guess I'm trying to make here is, tips are not mandatory. You can get upset all about them. They should not be mandatory. They should be earned. And that's where I'll leave it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think I'm the same as you in that, because like whenever I have ordered like Uber Eats in the past, and I have had some like pretty crappy service or pretty crappy food from there sometimes. So it's like, yeah, I do wonder, where does that extra money go? But I do understand that a lot of people who work with Uber Eats, particularly here in Mexico, they do not earn very much money. So, for instance, if someone arrives to my house with their bike, with food in their hand, I'll give them a tip in cash, because I don't trust the app to do that for them. I just give it to them in cash. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's true. That's a good point. I try to do that too. Like, whenever I can, I'll rather give cash than to put it on the app, because I feel like either the app might take a piece of it, even though they say they don't,
right?
Or if for that matter, it's just delayed, because I don't know when they're gonna I think it's called cash out, right? When you cash out, at least that's what it used to be called when I used to do it. So it could be a week from now, 3 days from now, or even if you cash out that same day, we don't know how the funds are gonna travel. So my point is, I try to make it easier too. I mean, like, here, $3, $5, whatever. But yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the reason, guys. If you guys are wondering why we went viral, that's it, because I had an opinion about tips, and oh my god, to be fair, as much as love as we got, there was equally an amount of people that were just like hating, like, oh, if you can't eat out, you should go to your McDonald's, which, god, I cannot use. I think I overuse the if I have ever overused an emoji, it was the eye roll emoji, like, because idiot, like, everywhere you go now, it's like tip. Like, how is it? It's not hard to miss the tip jar. Just because you have takeout doesn't mean, like, when you go and get takeout, literally from even like somewhere like Olive Garden or something, like a fancier restaurant, they'll literally like, oh, here's a receipt. You want to fill that out real quick? And you're like, oh, sure. You know what's the first line? Tip.
Well,
and
of
it's
course
like,
it is, yeah.
I came to pick up my food. You know what I mean? Like, why do you're printing out the same fucking receipt? But alas, that's what I'll say to that, where people are saying, if you like to tip, just take out. No, you cannot.
Well,
okay.
One fun fact I could say about tipping, just to finish it off, it's actually considered rude to tip in Japan.
Yeah, I know. I say a lot of people mention that. Like, I had a lot of guys, I don't know if they are in Japan or visited, but they said, it's really rude to tip in Japan. Like, they consider it like almost like an insult, Yeah. So that was very interesting. Maybe we should adopt a little bit of that, around the world. But anyways, all right. So the next story, I kind of gave it away here, but as you guys can see there on the screen, for those of you guys listening on the podcast, Abbott, changing gears a little bit, Abbott says he'll solicit public donations for border wall. For those of you guys who do not know who Abbott is, Greg Abbott is the governor of Texas. Okay. And this guy has been in the news on and off probably the entire year because he's had some controversial takes, right? Some that are very well embraced by Texans here. Things like the abortion new law that he put in place. I don't know where it's called, but the gist of an example is that if there's, or it's a heartbeat. I think that's what it's called, a heartbeat law, where if a heartbeat is detected as early as 6 weeks, the person cannot have an abortion. So it's been, again, a video for another day. It's been controversial. Now he is all over the news again because he has now said publicly on a, as you see there, conservative podcast called Ruthless, that he is actually going to open up, the funds for donations. So if you want to donate to Governor Greg Abbott's border wall, you can do so. And as he said, the entire world. So a little bit of the article. He says, Texas Governor Greg Abbott, it's a Republican, said that in an interview published Tuesday that he would solicit public donations to fund construction of his proposed border wall. Appearing on the conservative podcast Ruthless, Abbott shared that he would be setting up an avenue for, quote, everybody in the entire world to donate funds. I mean, it's a little out there. I don't know that somebody in South Africa would give a shit about the Texas.
That is so funny. I mean, that is like it's like the ultimate kind of like a stereotypical kind of caricature of the US is like, this is everybody in the world's problem now.
Yeah, and trust me, I love Texas. A lot of people in California that watch me, they're gonna be like, "How dare you, traitor?" No. Listen, hold on. I love Texas. I live here now, and I love it. But even I can admit that Texas or Texans, a lot of Texans think very, very highly of themselves, like probably above everyone else in the U.S., right? And, Governor Gavin being a Texan, of course, there's no surprise that he would say for the entire world if they want to give money. Now, granted, he may not be that far off. There are a lot of powers that be out there in the world. I'm not going to name anybody, Russia, that, have been, kind of like demonized a little bit in the media, China, for, meddling in things here in the U.S. So I'm not very surprised that he would come out and say such a statement. Like, if anybody in the world, wink, up in our northern hemisphere, wink, want to give out money, anybody with the name that rhymes with Putin, anybody out there, but it was interesting that he would say that, right? Again, many people are speculating, that's where I'm getting it from, that many people are speculating that he's winking at possibly Russia for saying, hey, if you want to donate money. Why? Not because Russia would be impacted if there was a border wall or not directly, but it just adds to everything else that's happening, the bigger picture around the world, right? Tensions between Mexico and the U.S., all that, whether you like it or not, does benefit, again, some powers to be out there in the world. It does, right? Trade, you get the picture. Okay, so can this happen? I'll leave this at this. You can read the whole article if you want. I have it still here up in the screen for you guys if you guys want to read it. For those of you guys listening on the podcast, at the end of the day, in my opinion, it's a lot of fluff, and I will tell you why. Because as the article says itself, it is really unclear if this would be unconstitutional, right? Because you do a whole border wall, right, Abbott, in Texas. Texas is not the only state. It is the biggest state, but not the only state to border with Mexico. Again, the biggest state to border with Mexico, yes. The only state to border with Mexico, no. So what are you gonna do? When you get to, like, an example, Arizona, when you get to any of the other states, California or whatever, right? You're gonna literally finish your wall like right there at the borderline, at the state line, and people are not gonna be able to go around that. There's a lot of those problems, right? When it comes to building said wall. Obviously, there's a reason why someone at a much higher position like Trump, because he was the president, wasn't really successfully able to build, quote, a wall. He was able to reinforce one, but not able to build one from the ground up. I heard, there's obviously different, beliefs out there. Well, JT stopped. He was actually technically able to add a lot of fencing. All right, slow down. That's very different than saying he built the next or the second freaking wall of China. That did not happen.
Right.
Reinforcing is very different than literally building an entire wall. On the other hand, I'm going to play the devil's advocate like always. On the other hand, we do need something down there because we've covered it on the JTH show. It is insane what's happening out there, right? So it's hard to simply just blindly be of like, Governor Greg Abbott is insane. He's another Trump. It's hard because of everything we've covered here on the show that we have seen. Children being, I don't want to. I mean, people are gonna get sensitive when I say this, but they're being trafficked. Like it's the whole thing down there is como dice tráfico de blancas. That's the,
Oh, like human trafficking.
Pretty much, right? That's what's happening, right? But of children and women mainly. People don't want to ignore that. That's different. But it's not just people seeking asylum. So on one hand, you have like a crazy statement from Abbott saying new wall. On the other hand, you're like, is it really that bad of an idea? Right?
Yeah, sure. I think I get the point of what he's trying to say. It's just the story has kind of been spun in a way that makes him look tries to make him look a little bit more unhinged, right? Because he's a Republican. So they've kind of they've gone with that one. It's the low hanging fruit. So yeah, I get it. I get why they would do that.
Well, it's the Hill, right? I think it's coming from the Hill. Let me see. Yeah, it's coming from the Hill.
The Hill. Yeah, exactly.
They've been known for being leftist. So, yeah, I mean, it is. It's funny that they're making a little bit of a mockery out of him. But again, he also didn't help himself by saying opening it up to an entire world. Like, I mean, those are kind of statements, in my opinion, that even if it was true, even if your donations were open to the entire world, they seem so radical that they don't help. Right. It doesn't help when you say stuff like that. So of course you're gonna get places like the Hill who are gonna just like you said, mock him or whatever. Exactly. But again, not an original idea. Obviously, Trump tried to do it. I was telling Josh as we were preparing for the show, the guy that started Breitbart or runs Breitbart, who was also part of the Trump administration for a while, that one guy. He actually started a similar program, failed miserably because there was supposedly some money laundering and stuff like that. Oh. It's not an original idea. People have tried to fund the border wall privately. This is the second time that the government has tried, right, at a much lower scale in comparison to Trump. Can he be successful? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't think so. I think he's gonna get money, right? Of course he's gonna get money, right? There's freaking GoFundMe for like the Gorilla Glue girl that like raised like 20K.
God,
I mean, let's be honest. In today's world, you can start a GoFundMe for right about anything. I need new shoes, and all of a sudden, if you make the right video, you're gonna get like $30,000 for shoes. So is Governor Greg Abbott gonna get money for the wall? Yeah, I think if we're realistic, yeah, maybe even a few $1 million. Is that how much it takes to cover the entire state of Texas? No. Billion. Try billions. Is he gonna recruit billions or gather whatever billions? No, not by a long shot. Now, can he put money away from Texans, whatever money that is allocated for other programs, to the border wall? Yes. In my at least my opinion, that is, how did that work out for Trump when Trump tried to get money away from other programs? He got annihilated. He got crushed. Oh, you're taking money away. Anything. It doesn't matter from anything. From Social Security. You're going to have people on the wheelchairs getting upset. Okay, take money away from the government, from military. You're going to get military people, pro-military. So taking away money from certain programs, it's never a good idea, right? Once you give that money, right? So can Abbott do it? Yes. Is it going to hit him in the fucking face? Yes. People are going to get upset. No matter what he takes it away from. From parks, people are going to get upset. You're going to take away money from the trees. The tree huggers are going to get upset. So that's that was it. That was just that story. We have another one. I guess we can do it maybe next week. Or not next week, but maybe Thursday. It's not all that important, but I do want to talk about it. It's going to be hitting California a little bit. because of their shitty policies. But I'll leave it at that as a preview. Shitty policies that are happening in California. But anyways,
that sounds good to me.
That's it on this one. You have anything for this one?
No, I don't have anything else to add. I mean, it's kind of funny how people still defended Trump till the end. It's like, well, actually, even though he said he was going to, saying statements with such bravado, like the wall just got 10 feet higher, and then people who were his supporters are just like, well, actually, I think you'll find he reinforce some fences in some parts where they didn't have fences before. It's like, this guy was talking about he was gonna create, like you said, like the next Great Wall of China, but it's gonna be better because it's American, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the funniest thing on that before we end the show, I don't know that I'll ever forget it. Do you remember seeing the photo? I believe is when he went to Israel, when this guy was literally like touching the wall. I think it was Israel when he was touching it, like it was like I don't know, man, like it was like this really deep, like, I want one of these. Did you ever see that?
I'm gonna try and find that image now, because if we could pull that up and put that in post, that would be great.
Let me see here. Trump touches Israel. I want to say it was like wow, I believe it was Israel. Oh, here it is. Look, dude, I don't know, like I think I saw this one meme once, and it was hilarious. Okay, because for me it was like this guy was looking. It's like when you have a child, you ever see like a kid at the store, right? And mommy's like, "You're not gonna get that one today, little Timmy," and little Timmy's just kind of like looking at it like, isn't that what he looks like? He's like, he's looking at it like, I want one of these. I want one of these for myself. This is all I want.
Such a great image,
right?
I mean, whoever took that photo, well done.
It was such your. I'll blow it up a little bit. It was so touching, man. I'm sorry. That's how I feel about it. It felt like a kid at the freaking candy store, and it's like, mom just told him, you cannot have one of those, and he's just like looking at it like, but I really want one. All right. Anyways, that's it. That's it for today, guys. Just catching up, telling you guys how we went viral. Did I say that already? Anyways, and a little bit of the what's happening with the border wall, because I don't think I'll stop talking about it until I think we can agree that there's more eyeballs, more people are paying attention, right? Other than because Trump said this, Trump said that. Even with Biden, let's pay attention to what's happening down there. So, but yeah, that's it. That's it for today. Hope you guys like, subscribe, and until next time. See ya.